Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to look at the history of the zoning characters when they launched and how they got adjusted along the way. Now obviously Rose just came out this week and she's been going through the typical cycle of day one. Oh my god, Rose is broken, Rose is amazing, oh my god, she is triple S tier. And then day 2, oh my god, Rose sucks, Rose is the worst character in the game. Rose is bottom 5, you will have a player like Luffy, obviously one of the best Rose players in history, saying he doesn't know if she is tournament viable. Others saying she might be the worst character in the game. So I did want to talk about the history of zoning characters and how Capcom always releases them very underpowered and then buffs them along the way, because a strong zoning character is a very scary thing for Capcom. So let's start with the first example, and that is Guile, and allow me to tell you what actually changed and what launch Guile was. First of all, and this might surprise you, this didn't used to combo. Guile was not able to do standing medium punch into crouching medium punch. This wasn't a combo. Standing heavy punch, crouching heavy kick. This wasn't a combo. Forward heavy kick into crouching jab. The infamous throw bait 50-50, either throw you or upside down kick to combo. This didn't use to combo. Bazooka knee. See this? At worst space it's -3. It used to be -6. The Sobat. This didn't use to hop over those. Now it does. Put that into perspective and check out how much Guile have changed. Now let us check out Minette. Minette of course is Rose's apprentice, and upon launch Minette had one glaring issue that Capcom fixed. And if you're not aware, she didn't have this explosion attack pre-launch, or launch Minette didn't have that. So what you could have done is just crouch block full screen, and there was nothing Minette could do about it. As you can see, because the heavy orb comebacks at like a higher angle at an arc, you could just crouch there and lame Minette out, and then Minette had to approach you, right? She had to approach you to continue her pressure, but if you just turtled full screen and crouch blocked like that, Minette couldn't do anything about it. She didn't have any full screen presence. Now Capcom gave her a whole new special move, the explosion, and now Minette have full screen presence. Now you can't really turtle against her. Look at how much ship this is doing, right? And even if you try to crouch or throw a fireball, she does have a presence. This was a very big buff, along with other buffs like reduced hurtbox on attacks like her anti-air and the jumping heavy kick. These changes made it so that Minette have presence in almost every point of the screen. Her jumping and aerial game became 10 times better, and her anti-air game became substantially better. Let's again put that into perspective and really think about how much this improved the character. And now let's take a look at another character that also got substantially buffed over the years, and that one is Sagat. Obviously, Sagat at launch was really lacking. He just became a strong character this past patch, but if you actually look at the changes along Sagat's history, they are really significant. The fireball got buffed like 3 or 4 times. They made the hitbox on them wider, they made the slow fireballs slower, they made the fast fireballs faster, and these are some really big deals. It enhanced his zoning potential significantly. Another change that is actually kinda comical when you think about it is the Tiger Cannon. Tiger Cannon now is +10 on block, right? This is +10 on block. Launch Sagat Tiger Cannon was -2 on block. Not +2, not neutral, not +10, -2. Believe it or not, right? And then it became +2, and then it became +10, and it didn't have the float that it had now. They also buffed the float. Notice how much it pops them higher. This is to basically make it easier for Sagat like to dash and then follow up with a combo, right? This didn't used to be the case. Sagat kinda had to do like an EX Kara uppercut to combo after them. Now you can like from full screen here almost, right? Like he can dash here and get a super, right? That wasn't the case. And now like there's even like fireball traps if the opponent is jumping, where Sagat can juggle these twice and get a super in this instance, right? Forget about launch Sagat being able to do anything remotely close to that, right? There is also other changes to his normals like crouching medium kick, having less pushback on hit, right? This is a very big deal because now this is a true string almost all of the time, or is going to combo very likely. They also gave him the faster Tiger Knee out of Ikara, and they gave him a better float on the EX Fireball. Better float on the EX Fireballs mean better combos, right? Now this is gonna combo. Wouldn't reach before, wouldn't combo. Or even if you do the low, you can now do the Kara knee and get pressure. My execution on the Kara is trash, so excuse me on that one. But pretty much he was not able to do that before, right? When you put all of that into perspective again, you can kinda see how much Sagat got buffed, right? Compared to his launch version, this Sagat is in night and day compared to what he was. So let's now take a look at another character. This character is my main character, Poison, and I'm very aware of what changed with her, right? Many players are saying that the reception to Rose is reminding them of Poison, and people thought that Poison was weak at first. You will have players like Infiltration saying that sorry, Poison is not a tournament character. That actually happened, and you can look it up, right? But Poison didn't magically become a strong character. If you think that's the case, you have one hell of a selective memory. Poison became a very strong character because of this. The cartwheel and the V-skill too. And the impact that this V-skill had on the character cannot be understated. Poison went from a character who didn't have a V-skill to a character who's had one of the best V-skills in the game. And just for demonstration, let me tell you what actually changed with this V-skill. Let's say that Poison did a medium kick heel knockdown, right? Previously, for back rise, you'd have to dash twice, so you do something like this, dash twice, and you're gonna be +1, maybe +2 if I manage to get it right. Yeah, you're gonna be +2 on quick rise, so you dash twice. But if your opponent quick rises, a double dash is -3, so you actually get punished. So her Oki was a lot weaker, right? Now with V-skill 2, you just cartwheel and you're +4 on quick rise, and if they happen to back rise, you're gonna be +9, right? And she's in throw range for both of them. So we went from having fake Oki, or one where you have to eyeball your opponent, to one where you're getting it regardless. Let's take a look at another thing, the ability to anti-air your opponent and then side switch. That wasn't there before. And speaking of side switch, let's actually talk about the corner side switch out of V-trigger. Previously, Poison was not able to do that. Or you'd had to do something like this, right? And that was the best that you could get. But now, Poison actually get to do something like that. Use the V-skill and you get the side switch. Or maybe you would do like the extended combo with the medium Love Me Tender. So she got a side switch out of anti-air, she got a corner side switch, she got a Oki out of like the heal specials. Let's actually check out another thing. Sweep, right? If you swept someone with Poison double dash, she was -6. Now with the V-skill, she was +25. V-skill give Poison Oki out of everything, and let's even check out combos. If you do a combo like into the EX Shocking Heal, previously at best she would combo into the V-skill into a grounded knockdown. Now she gets to do that, again use it once more time, and again you get the Oki, right? So this gave Poison substantial Oki. Let's look at the crush counter punishes, right? Let's say that our V gauge is empty and I'm gonna do a crush counter combo. Previously you would do that with Poison, right? And that is 202 damage into that suspicious Oki I talked about earlier. Now with Poison, you get to do this, build a lot more V gauge, and get guaranteed Oki. And look at how much more V gauge we built, right? So if you're gonna say that Poison got substantially better because the players actually got magically a lot better with the character, that is simply not the case. I'm sorry, that is simply not what happened. right? And there are so many other changes, like for example, being able to do something like this into like a side switch and then getting a conversion. All of this didn't exist before, right? It's a ton of new changes that made the character a lot better. And there are other really interesting changes that actually improved her a lot, like the ability to get this on a counter hit. Previously, this wasn't a counter hit combo. But now look at how much range Poison can convert from. You think that is not a big change? That is a hell of a big change. At launch, Poison was lacking. She wasn't like a stupidly amazing character. She wasn't comically weak. She wasn't like bottom tier. But Poison was at best, a mid-tier character. In my opinion, maybe even lower mid. And the V-skill single-handedly improved Poison this much. So to say that the players magically got better and found crazy shit with Poison, I'm sorry, that is selective memory, that's not what actually happened. And this obviously brings me back to Rose. I didn't cover every single zoning characters, there are others I didn't talk about, and others who are still struggling like Gil, by the way, but I hope that I made my point clear. Rose is yet another character in a long line of zoning or control ones who have clear as day restrictions put on them, like not being able to get Oki out of the spiral. Does she really need to be -8 on a double dash back rise? She doesn't have to be plus, she doesn't have to be in throw range, but she doesn't have to be that punishable. The target combo, does this really need to whiff on crouching opponents? And not having a way to force a stand? Like, the only way to force a stand is the crouching heavy punch, but as you can see, this is -5, so the only way you actually get to force a stand on your opponent is to activate V-trigger or something like that, right? So that is kinda ridiculous. The not having good mediums, like she doesn't have a good medium poke. You might say that the forward medium kick is good, but this is -6 on block, so it's actually punishable by some characters, and there are a couple of them actually. And even if it is that way, it is still punishingly slow, right? This need to be 8 frames, 9 frames at most for it to be useful. The sole punish being 38 frames of startup. That is ridiculous. The fireballs having gigantic hurtbox on them, right? I know many people are high on her V-trigger too, and it does have potential, right? Because you can use it to set up some potential resets, right? Like you can go for resets like that, and this seems really awesome, right? It's really cool. But you have to remember that there's V-shift, right? Again, maybe you will do something like the anti-air combos that everyone is doing right now. Like you can get to do something like this with it. And again, this is really cool, but like, like again, your opponent have to give you that, right? Maybe there's another variant if you want to use all your EX bars. And this one is pretty decent, but again, your opponent kind of have to give you that, right? And that is what I'm talking about. Is Rose a good character at the end of the day? I honestly have a lot of mixed feelings on the character as she stands right now. I don't want to give out a final verdict. It is too early, but the limitations are clear as day, and I do think history will repeat itself. I think this is a character that will be a lot of work, and you will get some mediocre results. But maybe in the future, when they buff her, the players who stuck with Rose will start getting really good results, just like what happened with Guile, just like what happened with Sagat, and just like what happened with Poison, and to a certain extent Falk and Ed right now. And that is pretty much it for Rose. I think we still have a lot to learn with her. The V-Trigger 2 does have potential, it can help her a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be the thing that will catapult her into top tier. I don't think it has the consistency and the ability to actually do that, in my opinion. It's not enough. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. Let me know what is your Rose experience have been so far. I will be leaving a link to the Discord page and the Patreon page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.